Gregory Smart was your conventional middle-class American male. The insurance agent had recently married Pamela Smart, the woman of his dreams, and the two had a condo, a dog, and what appeared to be the ideal small-town existence in Derry, New Hampshire. So his neighbours would be just a little bit shocked when Pamela returned home on May the 1st, 1990, to find their condo had been looted and Gregory had been brutally murdered. Initially, it appeared that his death was the consequence of just a simple robbery that gone a little bit awry. However, it would soon become clear that a botched robbery was not the truth, and the truth was indeed just a little bit more shocking than anyone could have foreseen. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Horror House, True Crime and the Macabre. I am Dom.
And I'm Amy.
And we are recording this on Wednesday, the 40th of January, because this month is never going to end. And considering when recording this, we are nearly at the end of the month. New Year's resolutions, people. How are they doing? How are they holding on?
You're funny. Ugh.
Leave a comment if you want to divulge how well your New Year's resolution has gone.
How long did it last? How many days into January did you get before you went, nah, not worth it? I got half a day into January.
You got half a day?
Yeah. Which is the longest I've ever been. So I'm proud.
Amy, it's been a little while because we had a little break over Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's lovely. First and foremost, it's lovely to see your face. I've missed it. And how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
All right.
I'm gradually, slowly but surely, coming back together in one piece. So yeah, we had a little break over Christmas, mostly because I was away for it. And the main reason that I was away was because I could no longer look after myself because I broke my fucking leg.
Yes, you did.
I did. You know what? I keep saying to people, oh, I broke my ankle, but it wasn't actually my ankle. It is my actual leg. So yeah, I broke my leg and I was wearing a big old moon boot and couldn't really move or do anything. So I did what all good people do and went home to mum and dad to look after me because, yeah, I didn't want to do anything. And plus they live in a bungalow. So I didn't have to use stairs for like 4 weeks, which was very beneficial when you literally can't do them. So yeah, but I'm getting better. I can walk now, not very far, but I can. And I've got my first session of physio today, so I can hopefully move. I was telling Dom before we went on mic that I'm not actually in a proper cast, but despite that, my leg that was broken has just decided that it's given up on life. And all of the muscle in it has gone. And I'm generally, before I broke my leg, I do go to the gym, like I do yoga. I've got some muscle definition. So my other calf is hench still. It's like been working overtime, bless it. And the one that's been in this boot genuinely looks like the leg of a poorly Victorian child. It's so skinny, it's so pale. The skin, where it's like just contracted back because the muscle's just wasted away, literally looks like a scrotum. So picture that in your minds. And that's the reason that I'm knocking off the boot 2 weeks early and getting back into physio, because I can't have weird, uneven, funky legs.
So if you want leg photos,
if you want
Amy
leg photos,
is the person
if you're into it,
that you want to be going to.
Let me know.
If you like scrotum-looking legs, then Amy's the gal.
It's really difficult considering what I do, in my other online persona life. It's really difficult having a funky leg. Just keeping your carbs out of pictures is quite difficult. Because trust me, nobody wants to see that. It feels horrible. Like I had a moment the other day where I was laying in bed on my own, calm down, and I felt like my normal leg, and I was like, oh, that still feels quite good, like it's working out, it's all good. And then I felt my dodgy leg, and I was like, oh,
you're like,
what is that? Why does it feel like that? That's not mine. It just looks so horrible. I just kept I got stuck in this loop of just saying, "Oh no," to myself over and over again. I was like, "Oh no." And it just kept getting
Oh
higher and
my
higher pitched until
lord.
eventually only dogs could hear me. But that was a really long, convoluted answer to the question, "How are you?" The short answer is, "I'm okay. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
What's been going on? What's new in the life of Dom?"
I am good, thank you. My other Instagram page is now over 1,000 followers,
I
which is
know. Who
exciting.
knew that many people like Disney? Crazy.
I know.
Mental.
Um, it is, yeah, I didn't realize how Disney centric it was, but that's mainly because Disneyland Paris was the only sort of major trip I did last year. So I'm
I
like,
think that's okay
it's
though. I think
kind of all I've got, guys.
it's
Sorry.
encompasses a lot of Disney, but you also have the element of I'm going to other places too. So I think it's fine. I think
Yes.
it's okay to be
Yes.
Disney heavy, but still a travel
Yes.
page.
And this year I am, going to other places. I'm going to Disney.
Hmm.
That will happen at some point. But I'm also going to other places, so there'll be a bit more of a mix,
Yes.
which would be nice. But that's exciting.
Hmm.
In 30 days, I will be in Orlando, living my best Universal Studios
Crazy.
life.
That's come around so
Um,
quick.
I know.
Like, I remember you telling me you booked it, and I was like, "Oh, that's ages away." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, it's
that
here."
was literally in March. I booked that, so nearly a year ago,
Yeah,
which is wild.
it's incredibly upsetting how fast that time has gone, but
I know,
I'm happy for you though.
I know, it's horrible. I am very excited. I shall spam you with photos if you want to be kept updated, of
Of
course.
course, always. I don't go
Um,
anywhere, so yes.
and speaking of Universal, this is only going to take a few minutes.
Hmm.
So I've been keeping track of the Universal Great Britain project.
Oh,
If you don't know Universal, I think it was last year or maybe the year before, actually. It's been a while, I know that.
mhm.
Universal bought a whole heap of land in Bedford, of all places, to build a theme park. And they had their public consultation. And since that, it's been pretty quiet because the government are like, we can't go into detail about negotiations and they've been like, we can say it's positive, but we can't say more than that. Um, so it's been kind of radio silent. But Bloomberg UK
Mhm.
put out a news article a few days ago with some projects that the government, are looking to put into place. They listed a bunch of them,
Mhm.
such as, road tunnels, Thames crossings, boring stuff. But in that article, it says that, quote, other projects poised to be signed off after being delayed are the Lower Thames Crossing, blah, 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 and a Universal Studios theme park north of the capital.
Ooh.
Um, so obviously Universal themselves haven't put out a statement, or anything like that. What I think Universal will do is they'll wait until Epic Universe opens in May, and then they'll put out a statement. But from that, what I gather is the government have been like, right, we're giving you the green light. We're going to
Yeah.
sign it off, you know, at some point
Which
in the
I don't
very,
see
very
why
near
they
future.
wouldn't. I don't see why they wouldn't give it
No,
the green light, because can you imagine how much fucking
no,
tourism that's going to bring in? Like, there's no way they would look at that and go, "Nah, you're right. We don't need all that
exactly,
money."
exactly. So I just wanted to share that because I saw it and I was like, oh my God, the government have pretty much been like,
I can
we're going to
literally,
give you whatever you want. We're going to, let you do whatever you want.
yeah,
We want you to build a theme park. Because like you said, the amount of money that's going to
yeah,
give,
it's going to be insane.
the economy is going to be ridiculous. And let's be honest, we enjoy Thought Park. We like a good day out at Thought
Yeah,
Park.
I like a
But
theme park, and I'm
but
open to a new one.
yeah, exactly. And the Merlin Entertainment monopoly stranglehold that they have on the UK theme park industry kind of needs to stop, because they don't invest much in their projects and in their parks. So I think Universal coming in will give them a kick in the arse, and just to have a name like Universal be like, we want to build a theme park
Yeah.
in the UK is insane. So sounds like the government are like, we will accommodate you in any way we can, get it built. So in 2030, we could well have a Universal Studios park in the UK, Amy, and we'll have to go.
Old in 2030. I'm going to be
I know.
so old,
I know.
but that's fine. Maybe I'll get on a ride and just have a heart attack or something, and that'll be the way I go.
Yeah, I'll just load up on, paracetamol and ibuprofen and every other painkiller under the sun.
Oh my God, if you could see how many painkillers I'm taking a day at the moment, you would, and I'm not even there yet. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So yeah, we'll be very old when it opens. But when it does, we'll go and we'll have the best time. And when all the young people leave, all sprightly, and we'll walk out like we've been in a war because the roller coasters have literally just like shaken us like to absolute.
It's fine. I'm okay with it. I'll be fine with it. I won't shout at any actual children in person. I can't. They'll beat me in a fight. So
yeah, they'll beat me in a fight as well. To be fair, I cross to the other side of the street nowadays if like two teenagers are walking the other way. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not fun. I'm pretty sure that's how I'll end up dying, because they tend to just get in my way in the street, and then I shout at them. Like, not shout, but like I'll say something very loudly so that they get out of the way. And one day I'll have picked the wrong gang of kids. Like, I'll actually bump into one that carry knives, and that's how I'll go. But I've come to terms with that. I'll die having gotten in that last sarcastic comment, and I'm okay with that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So, Amy, have you got some true crime news for us?
I have. It's a very short piece of true crime news today. I'm mostly including it because it's freaking hilarious. And it does involve a picture. So after this, I will send you the link, Dom, so that you can include it for our YouTube viewers. But
okay.
So the headline is, man with blue beard arrested for allegedly threatening to blow up Ulta beauty store.
What? Okay.
Okay. So Aplica is, I think, how you say the name of the town. Police arrested a 42-year-old man for allegedly threatening to blow up a beauty supply store this month. According to the Aplica Police Department,
what?
Officers responded to the Tiger Town shopping centre after an Ulta Beauty employee reportedly heard Timothy Lincoln on the phone saying, "I'm going to blow this up," with an expletive added in. I would like to have known the expletive, but they've chosen not to include it in the article.
Okay.
As a result, Ulta employees evacuated all customers and employees from the store. Police arrived and arrested Lincoln. Lee County Jail records show that he was taken into custody on charges of making terroristic threats. This was quite recent, so far the only response from anyone has been that Ulta, which is like the chain of beauty stores, have banned Lincoln for life from all of their stores. But I think the reason that I found this so funny was because he was in a beauty store, right? This is like, if you imagine like Sephora, like makeup and girly things, or those who identify as girly things, whatever, that sort of stuff. This man, I'm going to describe him, and then I'll show you the picture, and obviously our YouTube viewers will see the picture. But so you've got a description in your head of these people. He's got quite a big bushy beard, and it is dyed blue, bright blue, like royal blue.
Right.
He's got what I think is the word "hurt" written across his forehead, and then like you know how not Einstein. What am I talking about? Frankenstein has got like
very different,
completely different. I'm referring to Frankenstein. You know how he had his head like stitched back on, and he's got like the stitches across his forehead. He's got that, and then he's got a blue nose, and the rest of his face is just kind of coloured in red. Now I don't know if this is just him going crazy with a few Sharpies on his face, or it's genuinely tattooed. I don't know which it is because I can't tell the difference. But he looks like someone who has no place being in a beauty store. Unless he's in there to buy an absolute metric shit ton of concealer to cover it up. I don't know what he's doing in there. But this is the picture, Dom. I'll show it to you. Oh, no, wait. Don't go away. I'll show it to you here. There he is.
Oh my lord.
But like, what is that man? What is he doing? If I was to look at a man and put a label that said, this man's going to blow up a beauty store, that's what he would look like. I would draw that man. So it's very confusing. He obviously needed help with his face, and instead he was arrested. Whether he was trying to blow up the beauty store, I don't know. I think he meant it metaphorically. Like, he's walked in with this weird coloured-in face and has gone to his friend on the phone who has told him to go to this beauty store. Oh, yeah, I'm going to blow this place up with the amount of concealer I'm going to buy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's probably a turn of phrase as opposed to an actual bomb threat. But, come on.
Or he meant, like, I'm going to blow their minds.
Yeah, they're not going to know what to do.
They're not going to know. I mean, I don't know what to do. To be fair, if he walked in, I wouldn't know what to do.
I wouldn't know what to do. It's... But is it a tattoo? Is it tattooed on? Or is he just... Has he drawn that
That's amazing.
On? Like, I don't know.
That is amazing.
What tattoo artist takes that idea and goes, yeah, all right. If that's what you want.
Well, yeah. Like, as a tattoo artist, you have to have some discretion over what you tattoo and what
like,
you
you've got
don't.
to put that out there and be like, yeah, this was me. I claim credit for this. Like, what is he even dressed as?
That is insane.
But yeah, long story short, if you do go to town with a Sharpie on your face and go into a beauty store to try and fix it, don't tell them that you're going to blow it up. That kind of should go without saying, but apparently it doesn't.
Absolutely. That's wild stuff.
There you go. There's absolutely Amy's advice of the day. Stuff. Don't threaten to blow up beauty stores.
If you get anything from this episode, don't say you're going to blow up a beauty store.
Or anywhere.
You might
any store, really.
Get arrested. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just anything. Just in general, don't say you're going to blow stuff up.
Yeah.
It's not really advisable.
No. Doing it is also not advisable, but saying it also. Just keep to yourself.
Exactly.
Keep it in your head.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's my true crime news.
Don't be a criminal.
I know it's probably groundbreaking, but I just found it really funny. So.
No, that's. I'm gonna need to look into it myself as well, because that's amazing.
Yeah, he might not even get prosecuted, but I tell you what, he is not welcome back at Ulta Beauty at all.
Do you reckon they've got like a list, like they've got like photos of people that are like
his
banned,
picture's just behind the desk.
He's got a photo of him.
This man is banned.
Do not serve this man.
Yeah.
Just got a photo of him.
No matter how much foundation he wants to buy, do not sell it to him.
He's just going to make loads of like fake names and fake like doctored photos and try and like come back in.
I mean, you can do that, mate, but that no one's forgetting that face. Like,
no, very true.
Unless you get a lot of laser tattoo removal. I don't know, unless it's pen. I don't know, but yeah, no one's forgetting that face. That's just weird. And the bright blue beard, because of course there was Blackbeard, you know, who had his pirates, and there was blue. I think there was a Bluebeard as well. But this guy is the Bluebeard of malls, shopping malls.
Yes, he literally is Blackbeard, Bluebeard.
Bluebeard, yeah.
Bluebeard. Wow. Thank you for that, Amy.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That was a hell of a story.
Technically true crime, but hilarious. So.
Yeah, it fits. It fits. It fits.
I made it fit.
There's a dirty joke in there somewhere.
Okay, that's what she said.
Do you know about the murder of Mr. Gregory Smart? What was the name?
I'm going to do that really annoying thing that I do quite often where I'm like, I recognise the name. I really recognise the name. As soon as you said it, I was like, why? I should know more about this than I do. And I feel like as you start telling me, I'm going to be like, yeah, I remember this now. But for now, I'm going to say no.
Maybe. I hadn't heard of it at all, to be perfectly
Unless
honest.
there's another Smart. There's a very good chance that there's another Smart that I'm getting confused with.
Maybe.
That happens.
Maybe. It sounds like it's quite a common surname, Smart, to be fair.
But Greg Smart sounds very familiar to me.
Okay. Well, you might recognise it, as you say, as we go further along.
Wait, what was the guy of the name in the suit? Wait, no, that was completely the wrong sentence. What was the name of the guy in the suitcase?
God.
I know we're going back a little while now, but
I can't remember.
I feel
I
like
can't-
his name was something like.
I
Okay,
can't
I'm
remember.
just yeah. Let's just go on with the story and we'll find out.
You expect me to remember something from last year?
I can't remember something
God.
from this morning, so
Yeah.
it's completely fair that you can't remember.
So yeah, it's a bit of a crazy case. I'd not heard of it.
Okay.
I was desperately scouring the internet over Christmas, and I was like, I need something, and I was crying
More
because I was like,
murders,
I can't
people.
find anything.
Why is murder
I was
going out of
like,
fashion?
I was all of these ones that are coming up are just ones that people have done to death, and I'm just like, I don't want to do.
See, I think this is the problem, isn't it? Like we've got rules, like just in-house unwritten rules that we have between me and you, that there are certain ones that we just won't do because they've been so done. But then also a lot of the ones that aren't as well known. God, this is going to make me sound like such a just unsympathetic person, but they're just not interesting enough.
Yeah.
Like if one or two people die, we just kind of look at it and go,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need something with a bit of a, a bit of a twist or something a bit
We do.
unusual. And if that isn't there, then we just kind of go, yeah. So it is getting like, I think that our listeners need to appreciate the amount of work we put into finding cases that
God.
have a niche.
It's the first episode of the year, Amy.
I know.
And you're already just like, our listeners don't appreciate us enough.
No, it's I've got a praise kink. I just need more. I need more praise.
Oh,
I need more
dear.
praise. But if you are joining us back for this first episode, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming back after our extended break. We do love you and appreciate you. But also, we put a lot of work into what we do. So if you could just give us a nice, nice comment, a nice review, we'd appreciate
dear.
it. Sorry, Dom, I'm
Yeah.
completely taking over with my lack of appreciation for our listeners. Please do go on with the case.
Okay. So-
I'll stop talking.
okay. Cool. So let's talk about Mr. Gregory Smart.
Gregory Smart.
It's a bit of a why? It's a bit of a it's a bit of a twisty turny one. This.
I'm ready.
I think people are going to like it. Cool. So Gregory Smart was born on September the 4th, 1965, in Nashua, New Hampshire, and grew up experiencing an idyllic American childhood. On holidays, his family would take him canoeing.
Canoeing? It's when you have a new canoe.
It's when you have a new canoe.
Canoeing?
Look at my new canoe. Let's go canoeing.
Let's go canoeing.
It would take him canoeing on Lake. Here we go. Lake Winnipesaukee.
Cool.
That's so very wrong. Let's move on.
A lake.
He played Little League baseball as a youth, and his club won the Little League title in 1977.
Oh.
So this is actually a really nice quote, especially because 90% of the time, fathers and mothers we talk about are horrendous people. But his father would recall in a 2010 interview, quote, all of a sudden he connected with the ball and had a single, whatever the fuck that is, and he won the championship. You talk about a father being proud. I was very proud of him. I was like, oh,
that's nice. Yeah, we don't get that very often when we're talking about parents on this, so good.
No, we normally just have dads that fucking batter their child or mums that completely neglect their child.
It's literally anything other than say that they're proud of them. So
yeah.
I wonder how many murderers could have been stopped from doing what they do if their dad had just said they were proud of them.
Right. Probably quite a few, to be fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was quite a nice quote.
Well done, Mr. Smart. You did good.
Yes. Well done, Bill.
Nice one, Bill.
Billy boy. Nice one, Bill. Growing up in the 1980s, Gregory was captivated by the world of heavy metal. His enthusiasm for the genre is what initially drew his future wife, Miss Pamela Wohas.
All about the metal
Pamela
love.
was born. Oh yes, she is She is a metal lady.
Oh yeah.
She is. Ah, yeah. Pamela was born in Coral Gables, Florida on August the 16th, 1967. She grew up in Miami until her family relocated to Derry, New Hampshire. Pamela would attend Derry's Pinkerton Academy and was a cheerleader before graduating from Florida State University with a communications degree. She's a clever woman.
This is a very all-American couple. Like he's a
It
baseball
is,
player,
right?
she's a cheerleader. Like, I don't know, maybe our American listeners are going to be like, oh my God, what a loser. Why is she even talking about this? But like, this is how I picture American high school to be. Like, these are the popular kids where they're, all sporty and fun. I would do so shit in America because I was not sporty at all. I was alternative goth and didn't play any sport. I just read a lot. So I'm getting bullied in an American high school.
Maybe. To be fair, I wasn't.
Plus, I had braces.
I hated.
So.
Oh God, I had braces as well in secondary school. I would have been torn apart. Oh dear.
I had 4 weeks in a full head brace.
Okay,
like
I
the
just
big
had train.
thing. I don't even know what they call it these days. But I had one of those for 4
The
weeks.
saw trap.
The saw trap. I was literally in one of those. But I wish it had opened and snapped my skull in half because it was the worst 4 weeks of my life. But I had to go to school.
You.
So, that was fun.
See, I got lucky. I just had the train tracks.
See, I was having loads of operations. So I had my first operation on my jaw when I was 8. And then it didn't stop. I've had 5 operations on my jaw. And then I was in braces. I got my first set of braces when I was 11. So going into secondary school, I had my big head brace. And then I didn't get them taken off until I was 18.
Damn.
So the entirety of my formative years, I spent with some sort of braces.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, I know, man.
It
definitely
rough.
sucked. Can confirm.
Pamela was hosted a student radio program, when she was at FSU, and would refer to herself as the, quote, maiden of metal. I think you'll like that, Aim.
Sick.
Good.
This is the bit you find out she's playing McFly.
Got McBusted going on.
Yeah. McFly playing Download this year, and there has been a very mixed reaction.
That's a choice.
It is a choice. It is, considering some of the headliners. It's a bit of a okay, but whatever, it's fine. I've got nothing against McFly, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely yeah, I don't know.
McFly, we've made a few changes, and they just come out like.
Oh God, can you imagine? Yeah, they come out just like Kiss.
Full goth metal.
That I would pay to see. That I'd be happy to watch.
Oh dear.
But yeah,
that would be pretty.
I'm sorry, I'm like the queen of tangents today. I apologise.
Hey, we like our tangents. It's all good.
Yeah.
So Pamela would meet Gregory while visiting New Hampshire for Christmas in 1986. The two were instantly smitten with one another, and Gregory even agreed to move to Florida to be closer to Pam as she finished her bachelor's degree at Florida State University. I'm interested to see a little bit later on how that might turn into a different opinion.
Oh, don't, because I always end up looking like a mug when you say that. I'm always like trying to get involved with the story and being like, oh, that's so cute. And then in the second half, you're like, nope, shattered. I just have apparently the worst judge of character.
So this is the person Amy thought we were talking about. And this is the person we're actually talking about.
Maybe we should just start doing like before and afters. Like Amy in part 1, Amy in part 2. And there's just me crying. I
mean, it is like a bit of a fairy tale romance at the moment, to be fair, isn't it?
Like
it is quite cute.
I mean, you're not 100% convincing me, but it does seem like that. It seems nice. So.
It does seem nice. Yeah. It does.
I'm going with it. Let me alone. Let me be delusional.
Okay. I'll let you live in ignorant bliss for the moment. While Gregory works for an insurance company, Pamela would eventually work as a media director at Winnacunnet. high school in Seabrook, allowing her to dabble in television while also pursuing her passion for music.
Cool.
However, it would only be a few months into their marriage that the cracks would start to show themselves.
Cracks.
Pamela reportedly grew tired of her husband, who had started to shed his metalhead persona. He became more... I know, right? How dare you, Gregory?
You're metal for life
How
or not?
fucking dare you?
I'd be fuming.
He became more conservative after deciding to work for the same company as his father as an insurance salesman, and his drive was rewarded. He changed his image entirely. His dedication to rock music had declined, although he still enjoyed good equipment like the expensive speakers in his Toyota pickup truck, and he did still enjoy heavy metal music. However, the intense interest that was once there had waned, replaced by becoming a successful salesman and enjoying his leisure time with his friends.
Okay.
Oh God, I've lost where I am.
So far, all I'm getting is that it is safer to be a metalhead for life than it is to just give it up.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking so far, which is fine because it's how I live my life
Bottom
anyway. But, you know, I'm very much, it wasn't a phase, Mum. So, yeah. Don't encourage your kids to get out of that lifestyle.
No, absolutely not.
Leave us to it.
Because apparently your wife will completely turn on you if you do.
Yeah, you're very superficial, Pamela.
Right.
Like, you're supposed to have fallen in love with him as a person and his personality, not just the fact that he's, into metal. That's a bit,
Yeah.
Bit surface level there.
A little bit. Just a little bit. However, the shocker for Pam, the absolute shocker, the nail in the coffin, the straw that broke the camel's back, was when Greg trimmed his shoulder-length hair. And that's something that Pamela just could not abide.
Do you kind of get it, though? I mean, depending on what she does next, because I feel like it's not going to go well. But depending on what she does next, I do kind of get it. Because, so I've dated people in the past and literally said the phrase, if you shave your beard, I will leave you.
Damn.
Because you don't look the same.
I mean, I get it. Like, people look better with beards than without. Granted, I don't have a beard. I've got, like, the stubble stash.
Stash.
Which I think...
Stabash?
The stabash.
Yeah.
Which I think I kind of pull off, to be fair.
It suits you, but that's what I mean. Like, if you turned up tomorrow, not that we're recording tomorrow, but if you turned up tomorrow without that, I'd be like, who did?
What have you done?
So, and there's people that you see with a beard, with like shoulder length hair, whatever, that you think that's suits you. You look good like that. So if they get rid of it, it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, I think recently I saw like a AI comparison photo of Jason Momoa without a beard, and I was just like, oh
no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh
like,
no, that
genuinely,
looks that
just
looks
disclosing a part of my past now. But genuinely, there was a moment in one of my relationships, we were living together, and he'd always had a beard, like for as long as I'd known him, quite long hair and a beard, for as long as I'd known him. And then one day, I can't remember what it was. I think it was during COVID, and the mask was like irritating his face with the beard. So he just shaved the whole thing off. He didn't tell me, and like left for work in the morning, came home, and I was like standing in the kitchen, none the wiser. And he said hello. I turned round, saw that the beard was gone, and literally went, ugh. And it was so, I mean, you know what I'm like. As soon as something happens, I'm so shit at hiding my feelings. Like, my face just tells you instantly. So I literally went, oh, what have you done? And he was like, oh, I had to shave it. Does it look bad? And I was like, did you shave it in the fucking dark? Like, look at your face. Go and look. But he looked like a child. He looked so young and weird that my initial response was, ugh. And maybe that does make me a bad person. But, I mean, I stayed with him, obviously. I just really waited till it grew back. But I genuinely couldn't believe he'd done it, and he looked so different. So yeah, again, like I said, I don't know what Pamela's true reaction's going to be, but I kind of get where she's coming from when he cut his hair.
Yeah. It is actually also quite wild how, like, if you shave your beard off, how it takes like 10 years off of your
So different.
age look. It's wild.
I just
It's
looked at him and I was like, I
crazy.
genuinely never noticed that you don't have a chin. Like, wasn't aware.
Oh my lordy
I don't
lord.
think he listens, so we should be fine. But if he does, he's 100% going to know that I'm talking about him. But yeah, don't shave your beard. It's just
Yeah,
not a good look.
it's a cautionary tale
Yeah, just don't do
from
it.
Amy.
Don't do it.
So yeah, that was the shocker for Pam. His shoulder length hair had been trimmed. Obviously, her first attraction to him was his long hair, which resembled, a bit of John Bon Jovi, which
Okay.
obviously, being the metal rock person that she was, she probably quite liked, I guess. However, now Pam believed Greg resembled a New England yuppie. I don't
Oh,
know what a yuppie is. What is a yuppie?
isn't that like all of the Americans listening, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I
But
don't
I
want to see yuppie.
think I think yuppies are like the people. So the people that Patrick Bateman hangs out with in American Psycho,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
businessmen always wearing suits, and then on the weekends they're like wearing like boating
Oh,
shoes and like a jumper around their shoulders. That sort of
yeah.
person,
Pretty
loves
much.
a chino,
Yeah.
always has a business card on him. That kind
Yeah.
of man. I
I
think
think you're
that's what
right.
has a trust fund.
I've just Googled yuppie and your description matched
Thank you.
pretty much
Very
exactly.
occasionally, I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I get that. Like, if he's gone from metal god to yuppie, that is a big change.
It is.
That's not the same person. I'm
It's a
with you,
big. It's a
Pamela.
big change.
I'll stand up for
It's
you.
a
I'm
big
with
change.
you.
Pamela's got a fan.
Yeah, for now, we'll see.
For now, we'll see. So obviously, Pam and Greg's picture perfect marriage wasn't quite picture perfect, and was simply a facade. And a scant 7 months into it, they began having some pretty major relationship troubles.
Oh dear.
Not made any less glaring by the fact that while traveling on business, Greg reportedly met and slept with another woman for what was a one-night stand affair.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
When he decided to confess this to his wife,
At least he
um,
confessed.
at least, yeah, I
Honesty's the best
suppose.
policy.
So when he did confess this to old Pammy, she obviously would never really truly forgive him, and Pam would bring up the affair every single time they would have a argument.
Wow.
She's holding on to that. She's weaponizing it. I mean, fair enough.
Hey Pam, you didn't wash the dishes. Well, at least they're having an affair, so why are you going to speak to someone else about it?
Hey, Pam, you didn't wash the dishes. Well, you put your dick in another woman.
So I guess we're even.
I mean, one's much worse than the other.
To be fair, you would use it a couple of times. Like, you'd use it as a get out of jail free card a couple of times at least. Pam, you spent $1,000 on a handbag. Well, you stuck your dick in someone else. So call it trauma money. I'd definitely get a little bit out of it.
Pam would later state, quote, I didn't feel as important anymore. Obviously, it affected my trust. And unbeknownst to her husband, developing a greater passion for her career, Pam would decide she wanted out of their marriage.
Okay.
So Pamela Smart would call the police on May the 1st, 1990, to report that her condo had been ransacked and her husband had been slain. Police discovered Gregory Smart's body face down in the hallway of the Smarts' home, which was in disarray. An autopsy found that he died of a single gunshot wound to the back of his skull.
Okay.
Pamela Smart made multiple media appearances in the weeks following the murder, expressing her sadness over her husband's death and promoting her theory that Gregory was slain in a botched robbery attempt.
Sure, Pam.
Sure.
Whatever you say.
Yes.
So it's got very
It's
Menendez
convenient.
vibes to it, but
Convenient
sure.
that you wanted out of the marriage and then your husband just turns up dead and your condo ransacked.
You fucked another woman, I'm going to skull fuck you with a bullet.
She claimed that the killer was likely, quote, some jerk, some drug-addicted person looking for a quick $10.
That's a broad net, isn't it?
To the New York Times.
Just some dickhead. Don't worry. Probably out there somewhere.
There's quite a lot of drug-addicted people that would probably look for a quick $10. I don't think that narrows it down much,
That doesn't help, Pam.
to be perfectly honest. Meanwhile, the police were becoming increasingly suspicious of Pamela Smart, who appeared entirely detached in the aftermath of her husband's death.
Yeah, I wonder why.
28-year-old detective Daniel Pelletier had already observed numerous people in the aftermath of tragedies. The Smart murder case was his third investigation in 3 years as a Derry detective, having previously served 6 years as a police officer. And he was particularly, let's say, intrigued by Pam's reaction to the crime. Quote, from day one, she wasn't acting the grieving widow. She insisted on an immediate interview, Pelletier stated. So Charowicz and I took her to the police department. She said, "This looks like a botched burglary. The first thing I saw was the speakers off the stand." I remember looking at Barry, thinking the first thing she saw was the speakers. What about her husband on the floor?
Very good point.
Very good point. This is still quoting him, by the way.
Okay.
She said, "When I walked over to the body," end quote. That was a red flag to the detective, but he still gave her the benefit of the doubt. Working with people after a crime would have exposed him to a wide range of reactions, and obviously everyone does grieve in their own unique way, with some screaming and wailing, some remaining stoic and silent, while others just simply keep themselves busy. In this situation, however, Pam maintained her cool and appeared to be in complete control. It was even her decision to have an interview just 1 day after discovering her husband's dead body. So,
yeah, sus.
It's
Very
a little
sus.
bit sus, isn't it? It's kind of when like criminals insert themselves into the investigation, and you're just like, why? What are you doing?
Okay, so I'm going to be maybe a little bit too transparent. I'm quite good in a crisis. Like, if something bad happens, I've got ADHD and we thrive in chaos. Like, it's all very immediate. You have to, pressure makes me work well. So I've got a feeling that if I came in and someone was dead in my house, number one, I'd be like, who the fuck are you? I live on my own. But number two,
Get out of my house.
who are you? But I think I would, when I spoke to the police, I probably would be quite with it. I'm not a wailer. I'm not someone that's going to scream and, break down. That's not really how I deal with things. So I think I would be quite chill as well, to the point that I'd maybe have to put it on a little bit so they didn't suspect. Like, I'd maybe have to force a few tears. Like, my natural reaction to things isn't to cry, but maybe I'd have to, do a bit of sobbing and a bit of breaking down just to make sure that they didn't think I was involved. So
Yeah.
I kind of, not that I'm trying to like make Pam my best friend, whatever, but I kind of get it. Like, I think it's okay that some people don't react with the big, again, I mentioned the Menendez brothers when you were talking then, and they went overboard. Like, they called the police, they ran outside, they were sobbing, they were screaming, they were crying. They were shouting that their parents were inside dead. They weren't really saying anything. And then obviously they went down the mob route, which is stupid. But
Yeah.
they went too far. They were overly dramatic and overly distraught, I guess, considering they didn't have the full picture, or supposedly didn't have the full picture. Her reaction to me sounds a little bit more natural.
Fair?
But calling your husband the body, maybe not.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't refer to him as that, would you? You'd still refer to him as his name or my husband or whatever.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just go, oh yeah, the body, like you're the detective. That's a bit weird.
Yeah. With that said, the thing that really set off Pelletier's alarm bells happened 2 or 3 days later when he accompanied her to the condo to pick up some items. Obviously it was still a secured crime scene, so she just couldn't go and willy-nilly go into her condo, get her stuff. She needed, Pelletier to come with. While in the condo, the grieving widow would casually step on the bloodstained section of the carpet where Greg's head had been laying. And not just once, Amy, but over and over and over again.
Oh, dear.
Obviously, of all the warning signs, Pam's callousness was probably the biggest one.
Yeah. Honestly, not what I thought you were going to say.
What did you think I was going to say?
When you said, he was escorting her to get some bits, I thought she was going to go and get like a personal aid.
Ah, okay.
And like, not the thing that you would be thinking about if your husband's just died.
Yeah.
So that's where I thought that was going. But yeah, stepping on what? That's like, you have to do that on purpose as well. Like, you wouldn't naturally want to step on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
And like, once, I suppose you could write that off, I guess.
Yeah.
But to do it again and again and again.
You're making that stain so much worse.
like,
if nothing else, you're just rubbing it into the carpet more. And if you want to live there afterwards, you're going to need a lot of vanish to get rid of that. Just think about it, Pam.
This is how you get blood in the carpet.
Yeah.
Pamela.
God's sake. You're staining the fibres.
And confirming the suspicions of the detectives, they would get an anonymous phone call 2 weeks after the murder happened.
Oh, God.
The Derry police would receive a call from an anonymous female source. I normally cannot say that word to save my life,
Anonymous.
but I actually did. All right.
Or female source.
Anonymous.
Yeah, you did it.
I know, right? I 90% of the time, I say it like it's some foreign dead Latin word that I can't pronounce.
Oh, actually, sorry, again,
I did it all right.
I'm tangenting, but I need to ask you how you say a word because it's been bugging me.
Okay.
Prevalent or prevalent?
Prevalent. Who says prevalent?
Good question. Well, if anyone out there is listening and says prevalent, you're wrong. I'm just settling a score there, so carry on.
Prevalent doesn't even sound like a word.
Yeah, it's prevalent, right? I thought I was going insane.
It's prevalent.
Like, they've said it to me a few times now, and I've been like, fuck, am I saying it wrong? But I
Is it Reggie?
No. Yeah, Reggie, if you're listening, it's prevalent. But I just feel like no one's brought him up on it. And I've not actually mentioned it to him either, but he said it to me a few times, and I've been like, do you mean prevalent? What are you talking about? But yeah, okay. He's going to listen to this episode and be like, I didn't even know this was an issue, but it's been bugging me. So now you know.
Literally. He's like, oh, new Horror House episode, first one of 2025.
Shit, it's just coming from my pronunciation. Yeah. Sorry about it.
Oh, dear,
you need to know,
funny.
and this is the nicest way I can think of doing it, publicly in front of all of our listeners.
Yeah.
Soz.
I mean, yeah, prevalent.
It's prevalent, right? It just is.
What is that? Sound off in the comments below.
Yeah.
Is prevalent
How
an
do you
actual
say
word?
it?
So the Derry police would receive a call from an anonymous female source on May the 14th, 1990, alerting Detective Pelletier that Pamela Smart had indeed been involved in her husband's murder.
Okay.
The caller also claimed that Cecilia Pierce, Pamela's student intern, who she worked with at her role, had been the one to confide this information to her. In the meantime, there were rumours going around town that Gregory Smart had been slain using a gun that belonged to the father of a boy named J.R. Latimer. I think it's Latimer. Mr. Latimer, so the father, would check his rifle after hearing this rumour and found that it had recently been cleaned.
Oh.
He handed it over to law enforcement, and 3 teenagers were taken into custody shortly after. Billy Flynn, Patrick Randall, and the aforementioned J.R. Latimer.
Those sound like made-up names, don't they? This is starting to sound like a Stephen King novel. Oh, it was old Billy Flynn that did it? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
J.R. Latimer sounds like a character from that TV show, Dallas, or whatever it was.
It sounds like someone who makes jam. Maybe I'm thinking of J.R. Hartley. But it sounds like something that should be in a jar.
J.R. Hartley, he's a murderer.
He's a murderer.
Who
do you think? Where do you think he gets the jam from?
Buy his jams. Boycott him. They then took a 19-year-old Raymond Fowler into custody as another suspected accomplice. And while in custody, it didn't take too long for the boys to reveal the whole shocking story of how the death of Gregory Smart came to be. But before we get to that, I think now it's been a long part 1, so let's take a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a break, while we compose ourselves, and Amy can get ready for part 2, where she's like, Pamela's actually not a very good person at all.
Where I will be way more confused, apparently. But yeah, sure.
Cool. We shall see you in just a few moments. Welcome back to part deuce of this week's episode.
What language is that?
Dos.
Deuce?
I don't know.
There's deux and there's dos.
Deuces.
And you've merged the two. We're doing wonders for French Spanglish relations.
So, part 1 was, as is becoming typical for me, pretty calm, other than the cheating. That was sort of the one crazy part 1, I guess. Part 2, that's where stuff just starts going a bit crazy.
Okay.
And
I'll be prepared.
Yeah, Pam. Oh, that's all I can say for Pam in part 2 is
Okay. Oh no, I can't work out if I'm going to really like her or really hate her after part 2. Like, I'm still a bit confused.
I don't think you're going to be a fan.
Okay.
To be honest.
See, you say that, but sometimes people kill people, and I'm still like, so we'll see. Okay. We'll see.
Hold that thought.
Let's go on this journey together.
Hold that thought. Are you ready for part 2?
I think so. Maybe. Who knows? Let's find out.
To be fair, I think at this point, I'm never ready for your part 2.
I'm literally never ready. Maybe today's the day I break. Maybe that should be our 2025 thing. We'll have like a Deadpool, but it's actually just an Amy's mental breakdown pool. Where one episode I just completely lose my shit, and it's like, who had episode 138? I can't even remember what episode we're on, but probably past that. But yeah, who had episode 138? Boom, you win some horror house match. I don't know. But yeah, one day it'll happen, and you'll see me cry.
Win a photo of Amy's scrotum leg.
Okay, if anyone's joining us for part 2 and hasn't listened to part 1, I don't have a scrotum leg. It's a bit. I have been injured, and I have an excuse. Leg. And also pictures of my scroty leg will never exist. So don't get excited.
I mean, there's a market for everything. Someone will have a scroty leg kink somewhere
scroty leg kink,
in the world.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about exploiting that though. I've literally only just got into feet pics, so scroty leg might be a bit much for me.
Okay, let's start part two. So, Pamela Smart and Billy Flynn met in the autumn of 1989 at Winnicoonet High School.
Sure.
Around the same time, Greg told Pam about his affair, pushing her to spend more time with the young people that she had met through her work
Oh,
um,
okay.
at the school.
I forgot she worked at the high
Um,
school. I thought she was just hanging around the high school. And everyone was
no,
just like,
no,
yeah, that's cool. No, I forgot that she worked there. That's fine. She's allowed. We're all
she's
good.
the media. I can't remember exactly now.
The
I don't
media
want to scroll back
lady.
up. It's the media woman.
Cool. Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
So yeah, she was spending more time with the young people at the school. With shoulder length, blonde streaked hair, puffed out in the front, her perfectly made up dark ringed raccoon eyes, and her upbeat demeanor, Pam looked younger than her 22 years and blended in seamlessly with the students of the school.
Okay.
Billy Flynn's 150-pound, 5'11" frame was still growing. With his huge round eyes and dark shoulder-length hair, he resembled a youthful Paul McCartney, wearing an earring and a black leather jacket while playing the guitar. He too was dedicated to rock music, especially heavy metal, much like Pamela's spouse when they first met. Obviously, he's gone corporate, so he's not anymore. But when they first met, that was, his sort of look.
I don't like where this is going at all.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Billy Flynn was a dead ringer for the kind of guy that Pam would look for, and the attraction was immediate. Oh dear.
How old's this kid?
I'll get on to that.
Oh no, I don't like it already. Oh no, I'm having the same reaction as I did to my scrutiny leg. Oh no, no. Okay, it's all right. It's okay. I'm a professional. We can keep going.
Yeah, I'll get on to that. So it was a grey February afternoon in Pam's office across from the high school, and her and Billy's relationship had reached a turning point. Pam would ask, quote, "Do you ever think about me when I'm not around?" Billy admitted, sure. Pam would reply, quote, "Well, I think about you all the time." Now, Amy and the listeners, and myself, when I was reading up on this, I was like, that sounds a little bit problematic for a few reasons. One, if you look at it from a professional standpoint.
Terrible. Yeah, you're sat, love.
Not good. Pam is a member of the school faculty, so there are boundaries. But also, obviously, the more pressing problem was the fact that Billy Flynn was 15.
Oh no, that's way younger than I thought you were going to say.
She was
oh no.
22.
Oh no. In my head, I had 17. And that's 2 years younger. That kid is a kid. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm doing it again. Oh no. Pam. Come on, gal. That's not good. That's just bad all round.
Nothing good is in this. This is everything about this is bad. All of it's bad.
Oh, now I'm connecting the dots. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm stuck on my oh no record again. But oh no.
I mean, I think that's quite a reasonable reaction to this.
No need to start the Amy breakdown, Paul. It's already happening. Oh man.
So yeah, she was 22. Billy was 15. And a student. So Pam, as it turns out, had set her sights on controlling and manipulating this loved up teenager. Pam would take advantage of Greg's absence for an insurance meeting in late March to have a little bit of fun. And this does not get any better.
Nope.
This whole
good.
I'm
going to squeeze my fidget toy and hope for the best.
3. The next 5 bullet points.
Okay.
It gets it doesn't get any better in any one of them.
Okay, our YouTube listeners, our YouTube viewers are going to see me squeezing my fidget sausage dog pretty aggressively for the next 4 bullet points. So apologies in advance.
So Pam would invite Bill and her student intern Cecilia to the condo to see some movies. One of which was the steamy 9.5 Weeks, which I'd never heard of.
Me neither.
But apparently it's a film that stars Mickey Rourke and Kim Basinger engaging in acrobatics of the very sexual kind.
I know, I think I have heard of it, but I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. Actually, no.
Yeah.
No, not with the story in my head.
I've never even heard of it, let alone seen it.
Okay.
So I don't know how like racy 9.5 Weeks is. If anyone's watched it, please let us know.
Yeah, drop us a comment. Is it worth it? Is it worth a watch?
Leaving Cecilia downstairs to go and give the dog a walk. Pam led Billy upstairs to the bedroom she shared with Greg, slipped into a turquoise negligee bought specifically for this occasion, and the two would have sex for the first time. After their initial sexual encounter, they met several more times in the following weeks to have more sex.
Excuse me.
While Pam began and then resumed her lament. Quote, "You have to get rid of Greg," she stated. "Otherwise, we can't keep on seeing each other." When Bill questioned her about obtaining a divorce, she explained that Greg would follow her everywhere, making it impossible for her to have a boyfriend. She would also most likely lose the condo, furniture, and everything, and that she couldn't face the thought of losing her dog, Halen. It's a pretty good name for a dog, to be fair.
As in Van.
As in Van Halen.
Okay, nice. I mean, hardly a redeeming thing, but
that's
cool
the
name.
one bright spot out of this entire section.
Yeah.
She falsely claimed that he beat her, and that the only solution was to remove Greg from the equation. Quote, "If you want to keep seeing me, you'll have to get rid of my husband." All of that just read like a car crash. I'm not going to lie.
It's just so gross. Like,
It is, isn't it?
do you want to know what I sort of reacted to it as well? Like, okay, so I'm a strong, independent woman. Don't need no man. And so I'm not against a bit of, mild manipulation. Whatever, that's cool. I'm saying I'm going to get anyone to kill anyone for me, but if you're going to do it to an actual man. Like, find another man that you will fall in love with you and kill your husband. Don't use a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you're ruining that kid's life. Don't be a dick. I mean, there's a lot of dick things that I've just said in that sentence that would make you a dick. But one thing you can do is not send a kid to prison. And that's just no you need. Like,
yeah.
A little bit of me is like, come on, woman up and go after a real man. Don't just manipulate a child.
I mean, and no, that's fair enough.
Don't do it at all, obviously, is the overarching thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just divorce him and leave. But
don't get a kid to do your dirty work.
No, that's gross. And from like a position of authority as well. And
yeah.
Like, he trusts you, and he was probably a virgin, let's be honest. She probably took his virginity. Not cool, bro. Not cool at all. So far, the only thing I like about you is your taste in music, and that's it.
Yeah. The one redeeming quality is your music taste.
Hey, at least you're listening to good music. But other than that,
right?
Kind of a dickhead.
Right? She sleeps with kids, but she has a banging Spotify playlist. I can't fault that.
Yeah. I might put one together after this. Pamela Smart playlist.
So, for Billy, obviously, the message was loud and clear. Love me, kill my husband. And he reluctantly agreed, assuming that, obviously, it would keep her close. He's a loved-up, hormonal 15-year-old teenager.
Yep.
Who's had sex multiple times at this point with her. Billy would make 2 failed attempts to kill Greg.
Oh, God.
Pam wasn't particularly happy, berating him and threatening to end the... I put relationship, it's not really, is it?
I guess it is in a very fluid sense of the term.
Yeah, I guess. He would later tell a jury that she would yell at him, quote, "If you loved me, you'd do this."
Nice.
A little bit more manipulation there from Pammy.
Personally, I go along the lines of, if you love me, you buy me flowers. But we all do things differently, so...
Yeah, absolutely. If you loved me, my 15-year-old sex partner, whatever you are, like, you would kill my husband. Okay.
Yeah. Sure, Pam. Whatever you say.
Gregory Smart's final day began just like any other workday. Up early, the husband and wife followed their normal routine of showers, hot coffee, and exchanging pleasantries. While Greg would have gone about his day like any other, his mind unpressed, Pam was very much aware of the plan that would unfold later that evening. And unfold it indeed did. According to Oxygen, the teens ambushed Gregory on May the 1st, 1990 at the Smarts' house in New Hampshire. As Patrick Randall held a knife to Gregory's throat, Flynn forced him to his knees, shouted, quote, "God forgive me," and squeezed the trigger, fatally shooting him in the back of the head. The boys also ransacked the home, obviously to make it look like it was just a bungled robbery. Flynn and Randall would dash out of the condo and back to the getaway car where Latimer and Fowler waited, ultimately making their way home. Pam subsequently told Billy that when driving to Hampton, she saw their car on the road and flashed her lights in greeting. With evidence stacked against Pam, including incriminating herself on wiretaps.
Well done,
Smart.
Pam. Brilliant.
Yeah. On August the 1st, 1990, Detective Pelletier entered Pamela Smart's office unannounced. Pam would recognize him, having spoken to him at least 6 times before, except this visit would not be a happy one for Pamela Smart. Detective Pelletier would say, according to author Richard Holmes in his book, The Road to Derry, A Brief History, quote, "Well, Pam, I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is that we've solved the murder of your husband. The bad news is you're under arrest."
Nice. Solid line.
Yeah, that was good.
So rare do we actually get, you see it in the movies all the time, like the officer will say something really cool before they put the cuffs on him and stuff. But so rarely does it actually happen in real life because it's usually just Miranda rights and, go on your way. But it's nice that he actually got in a line. Like that.
Yeah.
I have respect for that.
Absolutely. And it genuinely is like a movie line
It's a
as well,
movie
isn't
line.
it?
Like, he practiced that. He looked in the mirror beforehand and was like, "This is what I'm going to say. Does that sound cool?" Like, probably to his wife, he was like, "Does that sound good? Do you think I should use that? I'm totally going to use it." And then he texted her afterwards like, "Dude, I did the line.
I used it."
You should have seen that face.
And then his wife's like, "You come home now because we oh
God damn.
woo woo."
I am hot under the collar. Did someone record it? I want to see it.
Did he use a really gruff voice?
Say it again. Bring the handcuffs. Oh God, we've taken that somewhere it didn't need to go, but sure.
The death of Gregory Smart put Derry, New Hampshire on the map, obviously for the reasons Derry would not want to be put on the map, but it put them on the map nonetheless. Smart's trial was extensively viewed and received significant media attention, in part because it was one of the first in the United States to allow TV cameras in the courtroom. And as a result, it was broadcast in its entirety across the big old United States of America. Mm-hmm. Charged with first-degree murder, Pam faced a life term if convicted. The prosecution's case was mainly based on testimony from Smart's juvenile co-conspirators who had reached their own plea deals before the trial began. Assistant Attorney General Diane Nicolosi described the teenagers as naive victims of a, quote, evil woman bent on murder. The prosecution presented Pamela Smart as the cold-blooded genius who manipulated her young sex companion. Nicolosi also alleged that Smart duped Flynn into murdering her husband so she could escape. so she could escape a costly divorce and benefit from a $140,000 life insurance policy.
Mm.
So there's that motive.
Yeah.
Um, Smart admitted to having an affair with the underage boy during her testimony. But while she was honest about that, she also claimed that her husband's murder was purely the fault of Flynn and his friends in response to her telling Flynn that she wanted to cease their relationship and repair her marriage with Gregory Smart.
Oh.
So
Okay.
not only do you abuse your position of power against the 15-year-old boy and then manipulate said 15-year-old boy into killing your husband, then when it comes to your testimony, you then say it was all the fault of Flynn
You completely throw
and
him
I
under
had
the
nothing
bus.
to do with it.
Yeah. Pretty harsh.
What?
Pretty
What?
cold, sis. Yeah.
That's so cold.
Yeah, that's not
Oh my
that's
lord.
not nice. That's not
No.
a very nice thing to do.
No.
Although this is one of those things that, like, I'm surprised it got this far. Like, yes, he's obviously been manipulated and he's obviously been, I guess, I don't know, sexed into doing this. But generally, a kid that age is going to pussy out. Do you know what I mean? Like, it gets to the day of the
Yeah.
plan and he's just going to go, I can't do this. This is, what am I doing? This is ridiculous. And he actually did it, which is, I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? We have chats all the time about where responsibility lies. And he made the decision in that moment to pull the trigger. And yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But yeah, she's a dick. I think we can all safely land on that lily pad and say, yeah,
so.
she's an arsehole.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Also, wanting to cease their relationship and repair her marriage.
Good luck with that.
Nobody's going to believe that.
Yeah. I mean,
nobody's
sure.
going to believe that.
Number one, you are fucking a child. And number two, your husband also cheated on you, which started this whole thing in the first place. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Reconciliation doesn't seem too far within reach.
Yeah. So, in addition to that, Pamela would further state, and I have no idea why she did state this, considering there's tapes of her running her mouth, that not only did she not participate, she wasn't even aware of the plot in any way, shape, or form.
Give one penny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that'll hold up. Stick with that.
But in an arguably even more startling revelation, she stated that she was only pretending to know about it in their taped conversations so that she could further the investigation, like the good, law-abiding citizen that she is.
How generous of her as a person to give up her time like that. That's so nice.
Right.
Thanks, Pam.
Work it out.
Yeah, I was just kidding. Lol.
Yeah. Jokes. Right.
Just mad jokes. That's what it was.
She's like, you people have no sense of humor.
I was just trying to stay down with the kids, you know? These kids and their wild stories.
Oh my God. But yeah, that is probably the worst attempt at, but I'm on tape incriminating myself, but I only pretended to incriminate myself so that I could help the investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just fancied doing a bit of acting. Time for a bit of improv.
Jesus. So, rather shockingly, this didn't wash with anyone.
No, really? You surprised me.
Smart was found guilty of being an accomplice to first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and witness tampering during a 14-day trial in Rockingham County Superior Court that concluded on March the 22nd, 1991.
She definitely tampered with one of them witnesses.
Yeah.
That's what we're calling it.
As far as the tampering charge, the tampering stemmed from Smart coercing Pierce to lie to authorities, or just not say anything to them at all. So Pamela would be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. She is presently incarcerated in a maximum security facility located in New York. Um, Billy Flynn received a 28-year to life sentence after being found guilty of second-degree murder.
Oh,
In 2015, he was granted parole.
okay.
Latimer and Fowler were released on parole in 2005, while Randall was released the same year. Despite Pamela's insistence on her innocence, still, Smart acknowledged that if she hadn't had an affair with Flynn, her husband would still be alive.
Thanks. That helps. Yeah, that's what you're willing to admit. Cool.
Smart has completed 2 master's degrees from Mercy College with concentrations in literature and legal studies. Ironic.
Yeah, that sounds somewhat similar.
I know. Maybe she should have done that before the trial.
Oh no, I meant to me.
Oh, okay.
My master's is in that, and my second one isn't in law, luckily. But yeah, eek.
The master's degrees were funded by Mercy College private money, and she has instructed other prisoners while incarcerated. In order to advocate for the rights of women incarcerated, Smart also joined the National Organization for Women. The first US Court of Appeals affirmed in April 2004 a 2002 decision by a federal court that denied her federal habeas petition. Smart had exhausted all state-level judicial challenges before filing her federal appeal. An executive council in New Hampshire unanimously rejected a request for a pardon in July 2005, citing, quote, any conditions the governor may seek to impose. Smart stated in a 2007 interview with ABC News that she would have preferred to have received the death penalty because she fears aging and dying behind bars. I mean, it's your fault you're there.
Yeah, I mean, you maybe shouldn't have had your husband killed.
I mean, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
you can't really put the blame for that on anyone else.
You know, it's like if I got caught like doing a drug deal and then got mad that I went to prison for doing a drug deal. Like,
no. Yeah. Sounds like.
In March 2003, Pam would have a third request for a sentence reduction in hearing rejected, with the 5-member council taking less than 3 minutes to do so.
Wow.
Nope. No, Pam.
Nah, you good.
Sorry, love. So, for the first time, there's something that took a very short 30-plus years. Smart did take responsibility for her husband's death in a videotape statement that was made public on June the 11th, 2024, as part of an attempt to have her sentence reduced.
It's a little bit late for that, love. But all right.
Yeah.
I guess we got there in the end. I'm going to do every single appeal. And then when they've all been rejected, I'll be like, okay, yeah, all right, fair, I did do it. Like, it's not really showing remorse, is it? It's just showing no other option.
No, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's giving desperation, honey. That's what it's giving.
Indeed. Smart admitted that she had previously, quote, deflected blame rather than owning up to her role in the murder, quote, because the truth of being so responsible was very difficult, end quote, for her.
Oh, was it hard? Was it difficult?
Yeah.
Oh, poor baby.
She's like, it's like, why are you trying to garner sympathy at this point?
You're done.
She added that her involvement in a writing group that, quote, encouraged us to go beyond and to spaces that we didn't want to be in, helped her, quote, dig deeper into her own responsibility.
I mean, you don't really need to dig that deep, love. It's very surface level.
Yeah. You also don't need a writing group to do that.
No. You know what you did.
Quote, for me, that was really hard because going into those places, in those spaces is where I found myself responsible for something I desperately didn't want to be responsible for, my husband's murder. I had to acknowledge for the first time in my own mind and my own heart how responsible I was because I had deflected blame all the time. I think almost as if it was a coping mechanism because the truth of being so responsible was very difficult for me. That's just the biggest load of word salad I think I've ever heard.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's bullshit, but it's very clever bullshit. You know,
Yeah.
it's very wordy, well-informed bollocks is what that is.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
what in the love? I mean, you go to your writing group, you claim that, you know, helps you find your responsibility if that's what you want to do. What you don't want to say is that you haven't claimed responsibility up until now, because if you'd done that, you definitely wouldn't have won an appeal. Now you know that you never will. Suddenly you need a reason to say, oh, no, wait, I went to this writing group and I realised that I'm responsible. And now, oh, God, now I'm sorry. I really needed to just scribble something down to realise that I had remorse and that I maybe was a little bit responsible for it. I'm so sorry, guys. Is that cool now? Can I go? No, you can't.
It's, oh God, it's like when someone, you know, who thinks they're really smart tries to explain something that they're just not capable of, you know, understanding. And it's just like they try and use all of these big words and they try and use these buzzwords, and it's just like you have no idea what you're talking about.
Like there's an episode that I literally just watched it today. In fact, there's an episode of the US Office where Michael is trying to prove that he's smarter than Oscar, and Jim makes a joke and Oscar says, very funny, Jim, and Michael goes, very comedically humorous, Jim, because he's trying to prove that he's smarter. And it's like, that's exactly what's just happened with this statement, is that I'm going to chuck a load of big words at it and hope that people buy into my bullshit. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it's what made Russell Brand's career. So you can't judge people for it, but like, come on, we're not going to let you out of prison.
Exactly. Gregory Smart's cousin, Val Fryatt, was not particularly convinced by Pam's statement, which she tried very hard on, obviously, and would tell the Associated Press that Smart, quote, danced around it and accepted full responsibility, quote, without admitting the facts around what made her fully responsible. Fryer also noted that Smart, so this is quite telling, Fryer also noted that Smart didn't mention Gregory's name once. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? As you were reading it, I was thinking this is all very me. It's me.
Yeah.
I this, I that.
Yeah.
I feel it's been very hard on me. And you're like, yeah, you killed a dude. Did you forget?
Yeah.
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 It definitely sounds that way. It sounds very self-absorbed.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing that I took from that. I was like, Gregory's name came up zero in that state. You got to
be careful. Us narcissists have already got to be careful with our eyes and me's. You got to hold a few of them back.
Right, exactly. So a genuine admission of responsibility, probably not.
Not so much.
During the early 1990s, the Smarts case had generated a lot of media attention. Since then, it has influenced other novels, television shows, and movies, including the 1995 movie To Die For, which starred Nicole Kidman, Matt Dillon, and Joaquin Phoenix. As for Gregory Smart's family, they are still struggling to pick up the pieces, following his horrific murder. His brother, Dean Smart, wrote a memoir about the tragedy called Skylights and Screen Doors, which was published in 2011. Dean would tell WMUR, quote, I wanted the book to be a memorial to Greg more than anything else, so that maybe in the future, people won't talk about Pamela Smart. Maybe they'll talk about Greg Smart.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.
I hate to break it to you, Dean, but that's very unlikely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I don't think Pamela would want people to not talk about her.
And it's just
unfortunately.
not the nature of true crime stories. It's not how they
No.
go. Generally, the people remember the killer and not the victim, and it's wrong because it certainly shouldn't be that way round. We should be
Yeah.
remembering the person that was innocent in this, but news coverage and I'm not ruling us out of that. True crime podcast hosts and people like us are responsible for the fact that we remember the names of killers,
Yeah.
because it gets the views. That's how it works. It gets the views, it gets the listens, it
Yeah.
gets the tabloid headlines, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that was the case of Pamela and Greg, and
Yeah.
the underage love it. Like it, we we talk about obviously some pretty horrendous people,
Hmm.
and like sometimes I kind of forget that we don't have to talk about an episode, or we don't have to do an episode and talk about a case where someone goes on a killing spree or
Hmm.
does horrendous things,
Yeah.
but yet they can still be awful people, like this woman who manipulated a teenager to kill her husband
Yeah.
while also having sex with an underage minor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's an argument to be made there that people like this, the people that are, she's obviously an intelligent woman. She's obviously emotionally intelligent enough to get someone to do this for her. Very manipulative, very narcissistic, and people like that can be arguably even more dangerous than someone
Mm.
that's obviously outwardly violent and looks like the type. It's difficult, and you're absolutely right. Like the people that, not that I'm saying the people that go on shooting sprees aren't bad people, obviously. Horrendous thing to do. But to have I guess, the evil criminal mindset that you're not going to do your own dirty work,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
intelligence to manipulate someone else into doing it is incredibly scary. And I think we'd all like to sit here and say, oh, do you know what? That kid's probably stupid. Like, I would never do that. I would never let someone convince me to kill someone else. But actually, I don't want to sound like cliche about it, but everyone does stupid things for love. Like,
Yeah.
if there's a
Yeah.
person that you're absolutely, utterly obsessed with and in love with, and they have got something that is making them drastically unhappy or seeming to make them drastically unhappy, you do want to do something about it. You do want to, there's plenty of cases where people have been like, oh, you hit my partner, I'm going to hit you. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like a lesser
Yeah.
case, obviously. But I don't think anyone can say, oh, I definitely wouldn't do that, because you don't know what the
Yeah.
situation was. You don't know how strong your feelings are going to be until you're in it. And
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
scary part of all of this. I think that's what I meant when I said about her manipulating a child. Like, that kid doesn't know what love is
No.
yet. He doesn't know
No.
what,
No.
it actually means to be that committed and dedicated to someone. And all he
Yeah.
sees it as currently is just, oh, I'm getting regular sex. And that's
That's it.
why he's probably more easily manipulated than most. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I meant when I was like, come on, woman up and manipulate a
Yeah.
man, because that's
Yeah.
someone that has got a bit more common sense to say, hang on, wait a minute, she's asking me to do something pretty fucking mental
Yeah.
here. But
Yeah.
it's happened, women have managed to convince their partners to do it, or they've murdered them together and stuff. There's plenty of cases of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So it's almost an added level of evil.
Yeah. It's one of the more interesting ones
Yeah.
that we've talked about, and it's like you say, it's just unfortunate that there are people like this that would go down this route.
Yeah.
Because as we've said, he was only a kid.
Very
He's
young.
smack bang in the middle of puberty,
Which is confusing
and
enough.
which is
Without
confusing
this.
enough. And now he's got this 22-year-old staff member who he's probably like, oh, she's like super attractive, and then you're like, oh, you're my type, and then it leads to this, and it's just like, you've absolutely destroyed this 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Not a nice person. Not a fan of you,
No.
Penny. Not a fan at
No,
all.
absolutely not. So yeah, Amy, would you like to take us to the end
Of
of our first
course.
episode of 2025?
Finish us off happily.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for rejoining us after a relatively long break for us. We don't normally take breaks that long. All my fault. Apologies. But thank you for joining us. If you like what we do, if you like what you've heard today, please do give us a like, leave us a comment on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, ring the bell, all of those YouTube comments that people make, do that. That would be lovely. We will be back hopefully next week with a new episode. I will figure one out because, as we said at the start of this episode, it's becoming increasingly difficult to find ones that you guys find interesting. But I'm willing to put the work in if you are. I'm willing to make this relationship work.
There you go.
I've forgotten everything else that I'm supposed to say. If you would like to support us financially, you can do so. There is a buy me a coffee link. God, you can tell it's been a while, can't you? I'm forgetting the names of things.
Yeah.
There's a buy me a coffee link. Feel free to chuck us a bit of money. Whatever you like, we will happily accept it. If you didn't like
absolutely
what you heard today, why did you stay to the end? Weird. What are you still doing here? On that note, until next time, stay spooky.
Stay spooky.